Hours of operation, 10 a.m. to sunset. But we locked up. What the heck, man? I swear I'm trying to go to new skate parks. And I don't got time to wait around. I just circled this place like 3 times, trying to find a park ranger to open it for me. And I have not seen nobody. And usually park rangers are everywhere here, so I don't know what's going on. This place is strict though too. Like there's a puddle right here. Sometimes they'll close just because of a puddle, man. But this sucks, man. I wanted to come here and skate. I haven't been here in like, I don't think I've been here in probably 1.5 years or something, 2 years. I used to skate this park all the time. I don't know, to mids we go, man. All right, so we made it back to Middletown Skate Park. Sorry, I was trying to go somewhere new for you guys, but it didn't work out that way, man. So we're here at the classic Middletown. No fence, no gates, no locks, always open, always fun. Today I got a different type of video. I have Tampa Pro coming up. I leave for Tampa on Friday morning. I get there Friday morning, and then I'll be skating the contest Saturday and hopefully Sunday if I make top 30 or whatever. Going into that, I figured I might as well set up a new board, set up some new shoes, and be feeling fresh for the trip. After the contest, we go to Miami for about a week and a half with Santa Cruz on a Santa Cruz trip. So should be super fun. Got to break in a new board and new shoes, and that's what we're gonna do today. So I'm gonna basically just go over the process of how I break in shoes and boards and how I get used to them and the grippiness and the flick and get everything in order straight out the box, because it can be tricky sometimes, and new shoes and new board combo is it's not for everybody. I like it, but it does take a second to get used to, and I'm gonna show you how I do that. As far as the board goes, we are still on my Cosmic Cat VX deck, size 8. And as for the shoes, today we're skating some classic brown Excel Slims. We're gonna break these things in and get used to the Excels. I just gotta lace up these kicks real quick. I'm gonna set up the camera somewhere else and we'll get to it. One thing I like to do before I lace up new shoes is I always cut these tongue straps at least halfway through so that the tongue can come up a little bit higher. So I just cut them about that much. I don't know if you can see that, but it just allows for the tongue to stick up a bit higher, and that's the look I like. But now I gotta lace these things up. Boom. New board, new shoes. One of the most crispiest feelings of skateboarding. Let's go break this shit in, man. So the hardest thing to get used to with new shoes and new board is obviously the grippiness, right? You got fresh grip tape and you got fresh shoes that are they're just grippy all around, you know what I mean? A couple things I like to do before I even start skating is I'll just like rub my shoes on the ground. Helps me feel like they're not gonna be as grippy on that grip tape, to just kind of scrape them up on the ground a bit. As far as the board goes, I do the scrape on the ground as well, just to get the grip tape basically smoothed down all around the edges so that if you land upside down your board, the grip tape doesn't peel up all crazy. Now we're actually ready to start skating a little bit, or at least riding around on the board. I always start out with like shove-its, just get used to the board, get the board feel down. So I'll do little back shoves, maybe a front shove. Before we get into like kickflips and stuff like that, I usually just like to do shoves, nollie 180s, switch 180s, stuff like that. Just get the board feel and the pop down. Kickflips are the worst things to do, I think, in new shoes. I'll even do tray flip probably first. Before I get into the kickflips though, I'll let you know what I do to warm up that flick, because I got a little tip for you that maybe some people do it, but I do it every time before I make kickflips happen. Let's get into it. I'm gonna get some shoves, 180s and stuff like that, and we'll start getting into kickflips. I don't know what it is, my regular front shoves feel weird today, man. Switch one felt great though. I feel like the tray flip is just so much easier straight out the gates than a kick flip, because you don't have to flick as hard. You don't have to catch as much of your foot on the board. So I'll do a couple tray flips, get that flick just a little bit warmed up, and then we'll start kick flipping in a little bit. Oh yeah, tray flips just are way easier with new shoes straight out the box. Less like shit that can go wrong, at least is what it feels like. Now let's get into the kickflips, because the kickflips are the scariest thing with new board and new shoes, to me anyway. So before I kickflip with new shoes, every time I will kind of do like a pretend kickflip. I don't really know what to call this, but it's where I will do an ollie. It's almost like an ollie north, where I will kind of pretend to kickflip it, but then stop. My foot kind of just goes out to where I don't actually kickflip, but I get the flick feeling down. I'll show it to you guys here and see if you can kind of see what I'm talking about, but I feel like it breaks in that flick. Perfect for new shoes. And just do it over and over and over and over again, and then eventually I'll try a kickflip and hopefully it goes good. This is how I break in my shoes to do kickflips every single time. I'll show you. But see, it gets the toe a little bit, just enough to be breaking it in. It's a good sign because you can see the brown on the board from the shoes, and you can see I'm flicking off the toe. So it's like a perfect way to just break in that flick. Now we're gonna do some kickflips. Hopefully they go good. First kickflip went well, love that. Kickflips went a lot better than expected, so I'm pretty hyped on that. Once we're past the kickflip, I just start getting into regular flat ground skating. The first couple switch flips and nollie flips can be pretty iffy, so we'll see how that goes. For the rest of the tricks, like that are kickflip oriented, I mean, I kind of broke in the flick, so they should be good to go. Backside flips can actually be a little tough. Backside flips are just a sticky trick, man. Even with old shoes, they'll grip up sometimes. I'm just gonna get in some regular flat ground tricks, try to break in the nollie and switch flips now. Once we have both the flicks broken in on my left and my right shoe for regular and switch, a lot of the heel flip tricks after that are fine. Heel flips don't grip as much for me. I can kind of heel flip fine, or not heel flip fine, switch heel flip fine straight out the gates with new shoes and new board. Nice. Damn. I don't really like this spot for switch flips. I want to move the camera. That one gripped up a bit. We got some traffic. That backside flip gripped up hard. New shoes, man, you never know. Sometimes they feel broken in and then they'll just grab up. But a few more flat ground tricks and then we'll get into the park. Trick's so hard, man. All right, let's get into the park. It must be so much harder to get used to new board and new shoes if you skate like a different shape board every time. I haven't skated a different shape board in years, you know what I mean? I skate like 3 different pairs of shoes, maybe 4 different pairs of shoes here and there. I swap them in and out, but I can get used to them pretty quick. But the board shape is huge, man. I couldn't imagine, man. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to switch my board shape. Shit's tough, dude. Once we get into the park, this is kind of where more of the getting used to the board comes into play. Once you're popping onto a rail or into ledges, or you really have to get used to that timing of the board. And I feel like no matter what, even though I skate the same shape board every time, they're not always exactly the same. I definitely have noticed, like when I go to nollie crook the ledge, sometimes the nose pops a second later or earlier, depending on how steep or mellow the nose is of that specific board. Because you know they're pressed, you know, they're not pressed one by one. So they're always gonna have a slightly different shape to them, or not necessarily shape, but a different concave to them, which affects like the timing and the pop. I always notice that once I come here and skate the ledge, start nollie nose sliding and stuff, is when it really stands out to me. So we'll see how this board feels specifically. I don't know about you guys, but I love waxing my board when it's brand new. This makes that slide so much easier. Let's get it. hella windy. Test out these nollie flips, see how grippy they are. I'm gonna try and nose manual nollie flip this little box right here on the up and then the down. Got the shoes and board broken in, it's feeling kind of crispy, and it wasn't too bad. Not too grippy. I think as long as you take it slow and you kind of work in that kickflip foot, just learn when the board is popping, the timings of it, kind of get it down before you really start getting into more difficult tricks, then you're good to go. I mean, it's really just breaking in that flick and making sure that every time you kickflip, it's gonna do a kickflip and not like shoot out on you or whatever. So I didn't really get into too many crazy tricks in this video, and I kind of kept it a little bit short just because the point of this video was really to just break in my shoes, break in my board, and get feeling good for the setup that I have bringing to Tampa this weekend. So the next time I skate's probably gonna be Friday in Tampa. It's good to have the stuff slightly broken in and good for the contest on this weekend. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace, yo.